Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pantheon Plus U. I am Deseryn, and I am here with my wonderful and positive and valiant co-hosts, ManOfRohan and ReadbeardFlynn. Say hi, guys.
I'm glad you started with ManOfRohan with that.
Hola.
Man, I can already tell I'm not going to be able to keep up.
What was the other one?
Yeah,
Positive. Valiant and positive.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Yeah, positive and valiant. So who's valiant and who's positive? Never mind. Let's talk about real things.
I'm positive.
Like
yeah. Red's the positive one. You're the valiant.
And I'm valiant. Okay, yeah. I'll take it.
That's cool, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm good with that. That'll work. Oh, but we're out of retirement.
Look, yeah, we have risen.
we've been called back. we were fired. We were let go. We created our own podcast, and now we're back. Does that mean we have to quit the other one?
Well, I mean, you can't just. No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not. You can't just quit.
You did say that this is adult content anyway.
There you go. All right, I can already tell. There's tons of people here hanging out in the green room. This is going to be a crazy show.
So many.
So I want to let everybody know that while the initial, let's see, what time is it? The Q&A was, about an hour long. That was pretty perfect. Some of these folks have to get to sleep tonight, and I have a bad habit of kind of letting things draw out. So I'm going to be a little more strict on time limits for callers, and just deal with it. Hopefully you guys understand.
Just deal with it.
But yeah, be conscious that
we'll be nice, though.
There's a lot of people that want to get their voice in here. So having said that,
I'm sure no one has anything to say at all.
Let's just give a couple minutes.
But if you come and look at the green room.
Let's just give a couple minutes real quick for our first impressions. Are you listening to me on the stream or in Discord?
This is why we're the B team.
I'm not.
Okay.
Because we're too polite. That's what it is. I'm too polite.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish.
So
go ahead, Deseryn.
We're gonna give our kind of off the cuff thoughts without getting too into detail. And then we'll start pulling people into the green room. It already looks like there's 8+ people in the green room, so I want to get to this quick, but I know people are going to be wondering how are we feeling. So I'm going to start because you're so polite, ManOfRohan. You, off the cuff, how are you feeling?
As a Alpha Pledger, 2016, bought my Knights Pledge, which doesn't exist anymore. But as an Alpha Pledger, I am super excited with both the newsletter and hearing the things that are awaiting in December. Please don't make it the first weekend. Second weekend or a third weekend is better, by the way, guys, please. Anyway, very excited, but just excited is my favorite word, but there are some new things I heard tonight, and I felt like a VIP. In the last Q&A and in this Q&A, I felt like a VIP. So I have loved both of them. The last one I thought was so really raw and honest, and so was this one as well. But I appreciated the way the communication happened. Yeah, the communication in the newsletter was really good, so I think VR, you guys really stepped up in that way. For me personally, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I am just jazzed. So all I had to hear was Alpha Pledgers get to start testing a little bit, and that's great.
I'm so excited.
And I didn't even care. 247, fine, that's fine. I don't care, but the rest of it's great. Yeah.
I've been waiting to play because both of you guys happen to be Alpha Pledges, and all I've wanted to do is play Pantheon with you guys for so long, and we're actually going to have an opportunity. It's so exciting. But anyway, Red, how are you feeling, man?
Yes. So it's interesting because from the first moment Joppa started talking, the difference between this Q&A and last Q&A was so intense. Like the difference of like just not sounding
night and day,
so down.
Yeah.
Actually sounding optimistic. And I think just like the optimism came through, and it felt more like I kind of feel like there's just been this growing weight for a couple of months that boiled over the last couple of months, and this felt like the weight was off in a lot of ways. And I was kind of just like the whole time I was like, this just feels better. I mean, yes, and there was a lot of really cool stuff that we heard. Yes, the fact that alpha pledgers will get to play is nice, obviously, as an alpha pledger, and it's really cool to see how they were able to listen to feedback, very loud, very very loud feedback.
Yeah.
Kind of take it in stride and show that they are listening. And I think I want to start this with just saying, like, I have not seen, because one thing with any kickstarted MMO, with MMOs in general, people take ownership of it because they put so much time and energy into it. People feel passionate about it. People feel passionate when they're not even investing money in it. And so you have a ton of passionate people, but I've never seen someone like I haven't seen a team so quickly pivot from something that was perceived very negatively and just like listen to the damn community.
Yeah,
it's,
like you were saying, like it's the thing that they showed with this kind of change is that they are different, right? Like the whole 247 thing, I think a lot of people were really doubting the VR that we thought we knew. And they kind of just, it took like a month, right? A month and some change of deliberation and then decision. So I don't think it was like an immediate thing, right? But it shows that VR is still alive and well, like the VR that we kind of fell in love with, right? That embraces their community and respects them. So yeah, that's that's great. I'm in the same boat as you guys. This felt completely different, and you could sense it right from the start. I'm going to be digesting this for the next several hours, even after the show. Really excited to do a rewind on this. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys! I would love to read all of this, but having said all of that, we have got a crazy green
December
room.
1st.
December 1st. Oh yeah,
let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going.
So we can stop talking.
I wasn't able to really see the order that anyone kind of came in, so please, forgive me.
Pretty much everyone at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, they were here before it started, so just pick.
You know what? Let's start with Breakout. All right?
Breakout!
Dude, I know. I'm just excited to get him in here because he's recently,
Breakout!
Glass of coffee and everything. Anyway, Breakout, I'm pulling you in, buddy. Breakout.
Hey, Breakout.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
it's good to hear from you.
Evening. Hey.
Oh, man. Day was very good for me.
That's good.
Excellent. So what do you think?
So been following Pantheon since 2016, and I know there's people that's done it longer than I have and all that. And not gonna lie, a few weeks ago I hit a wall in the marathon, but today was like someone threw me a Gatorade, and it helped a lot.
That's a great.
I think that's a common feeling. I think like I really feel like there was a point where it was getting the negativity was starting to really weigh. It was weighing on me, and I've tried to be as positive as possible for a while, and it's I totally get that feeling, and it really did feel like I hope that anyone who has been following Pantheon gets the opportunity to listen to this Q&A, because I think it's kind of important to, but also read the letter. Because I think both of those combined is a very big step forward.
Come on, my co-host, please help me. I'm trying to fix
I just talked, okay? I just talked a lot.
I think I'm actually delayed, to be honest. I think I'm delayed, so hopefully it's working out.
And it was a small thing, but them going back to the old they said they're going back to how the old ogres used to look. That is awesome.
Oh, dude,
I love the old way the old ogres looked.
I completely agree, man.
That doesn't mean much to me, so I'm excited to see what it's like.
Yeah, same. Like I don't remember what they used to look like.
Was that like one of the highlights for you, besides like kind of the general stuff?
Yeah. They really didn't talk too much about shaman stuff, so.
Well, I can't wait to talk to you guys.
Is that good? Like, is that a good thing? Because there was a lot of shaman for a while.
I'm gonna get really shaman with you guys on December 1st. So looking forward to
December
that.
1st. It's gonna be my first time to play Pantheon. Super excited about that. I'm gonna have to ask off for
and just to be clear, December 1st isn't the scheduled time for the test. December 1st is when the NDA, the verbal NDA, gets dropped. But sometime in December is the test where alpha level pledges will get a they said 24-hour session. So just to be super clear on that, some people aren't like taking time off, right?
And it kind of sounds like we're on probation a little bit too. Like if we come in and mess everything up, we're not going to get more tests. So everybody be on their best behavior if you're an alpha pledger.
Yeah. And ManOfRohan, if you want to try like leaving and coming back, see if it fixes your delay.
I'm gonna do it.
All right. So forgive the pictures of everybody for a second, because I just want to make sure he can converse with us. But if that's it, Breakout, I'm going to toss you back into the green room.
Don't let him back in.
Yeah, that's it for me. I just wanted to share how excited I was after today.
Dude, I'm so glad to have you on. Like, it's good to hear your voice, man. And I'm going to shout out Quest and Coffee Sunday, playing Baldur's Gate 3. Breakout's there, and he's not sick anymore. So, all right, have a good one, Breakout.
Thank you so much, Breakout.
Bye, guys.
Let's get ManOfRohan back in. Oh, he's not ready yet. Oh.
I'm on like two cameras right now.
Dude, I hear you. I'm stretching to see everybody in the. We've actually got the beard cam. We've got the beard cam.
It's a beard cam.
All right. Let's get. I heard Fate was in here pretty early, so maybe we get Fate in here after ManOfRohan. Let's see. Can you hear us good again, Man-of-Rohan?
Hi, welcome back.
Yay!
Sorry, everyone.
We're good.
Let's play.
All right, Fate. They're coming in. Hey there, Fate.
Hello, Fate.
Hello.
Hello. So,
how's everyone doing?
Oh, I think you know. I think you know. Questions, comments, major takeaways, minor takeaways, hidden secrets? What do you got for us?
Well, I can't reveal the hidden secrets yet, but
December 1st, right?
Yeah, December 1st.
Man, how good is that?
Where all the little spots are for certain things.
Oh, we've been keeping track.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. No, it's very exciting. I'm still taking a little bit of a cautious wait and see approach for a lot of what they said. They said like zones soon, win soon.
Yeah.
And
I think that's fair.
Time on that, it's like I'm sure that AVP at least has to be like somewhat close to releasable in a pre-alpha sense of the word.
I mean, I kind of like how he put it though. saying that if it wasn't for all the holidays, like you'd be pretty confident about December. That kind of tells
Yeah,
me
that's
that
fair.
It shouldn't be too far into next year. But on the
Yeah,
topic
it is
of
kind of a rough
zones,
time for that stuff.
how do you feel about them releasing incomplete zones just so we can get in there?
Oh, that'd be fine, just don't even need POIs necessarily, just like um the terrain, right, for us to explore around, even if it's kind of empty, like people will get in there and they'll explore it,
Yeah,
spend plenty of time exploring, climbing and stuff like that, and scouting out potential POIs and that sort of thing. And then, but it'd be nice if there were a few camps and stuff in there as well, as like spread people out for the people who wanna play rather than just explore around.
yeah. Well, the way that they phrased it, and also thank you so much, Zip. You are insane, man. Thank you. You're the best. Um,
God.
but the way they explained it was that they would actually kind of cordon off areas. So like as
Mhm.
they released the zones, they would have like like they said, like Sky Durban built out, and they would kind of confine players to that area. And I know we don't like invisible walls, but for the sake of testing, right? So that they would kind of, focus us in there to really thoroughly go through whatever content was kind of ready. And they also said the whole like first pass, second pass thing, right? Like, so we're talking like first pass, at least we're in there. We can see stuff and we don't have to wait for an entire zone. I know I'm a fan of that, but it was an interesting thing that just kind of popped up. I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
I
good
mean,
solution.
I kind of feel like that's a little overdue, honestly. Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it at least shows the people that are testing the progress that is being made, and it allows for the people that are backing the project to get to experience it as it's happening. The game does not need to be in a finished state. It almost feels like there's a lot of anxiety over showing something in an unfinished state, but it's kind of one of
Yeah.
those things where for an in progress game, because it is kind of like uncharted territory, even though this has been essentially a thing since about 2012, not for Pantheon but just in general for these type of games where you have to show things as you're building them. And one of the coolest streams I remember was just the gray boxing stream, the making of a
Yeah.
city stream.
True.
Like, that's cool, and the people that care about that stuff will enjoy it, and the people that don't care will tune it out. People they're not going to remember it when the game launches. Like, oh well, this used to be a gray box. Like that's not something that people are going to remember.
Yeah.
I do understand their anxiety though.
Yeah.
As much as I wish that they would just go ahead and like put some of this stuff out in a slightly less finished, less polished state. Like, you've seen things like recently the GTA 6 leaks and stuff like that, and how people like were just super overly critical about like a half finished game, as if reacting as if the game was going to come out tomorrow and not
Yeah.
quite a ways from now.
We're kind of at the point where
Yeah.
it's been a lot of years, and no one's denying that at all, and so it's always going to be that kind of like burden to go along with the project. But to me, how I see that is we're kind of past the point where hiding things is worthwhile. Like, just show as much as you can. Really, that's how I feel about it, and so this seems like a nice step for that.
Yeah, and I thought that the leak, not to bring up bad things, but the leak was actually the silver lining of that is we just tipped over. It tipped over and said, okay, it's much more worth it to say we're going to start showing all these things. We're going to drop the MDA. We're going to do things that we haven't done before because we found out that it's not worth it to keep it all silent anymore. So I'm not on the team, but I'm just imagining that however painful that was and the turmoil that caused, sometimes you need that kind of goad to be real dorky about it. If you don't know, a goad is a stick that you prod oxen with. to get them to go when they aren't plowing. Anyway, sometimes you need that thing that stops you or that starts you going, and because you're kind of stuck where you're at and you're in a rut, and you got to get kind of hurt real bad to change your mind, So anyway.
Yeah, Sparrow does goad me often. But just to address Screech here, bringing up the whole, maintaining some surprises. And, Joppa did leave room for that. I think we're kind of in a place right now where maybe as stuff starts to speed up, if interest starts to increase on Pantheon again, as they start showing more things, as the game's foundations have been laid, and they're actually just building the damn game, right? Like, as everybody has wanted for years. Maybe after we get some momentum, then, we can start hiding stuff. That's how I feel about it. I don't know if Joppa's saying yeah, we're not showing stuff now, but I don't know. One way or another, I know people want to be surprised at launch, but I just don't know if that works for this project.
Well, and surprise it's gonna be relative, right? So the more you test, the less surprise you'll have,
right.
And that goes. I mean, yeah. I tested EverQuest 2, and there was a lot of lack of surprise when I went and actually played the game.
Right.
But that's kind of self-inflicted, right? So, and yes, there's gonna be content there'll be content everywhere. There's currently content for other in-progress games that you can choose to engage in or avoid. So if surprise is the important thing, then I would just check the website for updates and stick to that.
Yeah,
I think instead of trying to test. But
I was going to bring up content. Speaking of which, that as far as an NDA, a good argument for maybe dropping the NDA a little bit more is if you've been paying attention at all to Monsters and Memories, and they just had a recent test. There's been a ton of cool content that people are making videos left and right and stuff like that, because everybody was allowed to record and stream and that sort of thing. And it's a test was only took place in a few zones around one city, but people made tons and tons of videos and content and that sort of thing, and that's just getting the word out there. And it looks and it's makes it look a lot of fun, even though the game looks really, really unfinished and unpolished, because it is really unfinished and unpolished. But
we're seeing that more and more too. I don't know if anyone's following PAX Day, but their alpha test, they're actually promoting people to make tutorials and stuff on their game that is very much an alpha. They're just kind of putting it out there, even though it's very obviously unfinished. It's almost, I would say, a tried and true method at this point. And so, yeah.
I mean, even Terraceland doesn't have an NDA, and I can't even log into that.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, just to roll back just a little bit, why are we playing an MMO? I mean, there is a content thing to that, right? For sure. Mm-hmm. But haven't we learned the lesson, that people in P99, yes, it's a subset of the entire group of MMOers out there, but they've been playing that game for 25 years,
For some
and it's
reason.
the same game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And because the enjoyment, and I'm not downing P99 or anything, because I like it too, but they're not playing the game for new content. They're playing it because they get to hang out with people that they like. They get to have progression. There's a lot of other things that are fun about a game that isn't just, I got surprised by this new thing in the zone. The surprises are the adventures you have and the people you meet and all that stuff. So just to make that point. I'm out. I'll see you.
Well, actually, I'm already breaking my own rules. So, Fate,
yeah, I was about to say, yes. I'll just say, I'm glad that they listened to feedback, and then I'll step out and let somebody else come in.
Awesome. Thanks, Fate.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. You know who I did see in the green room super early, and I would be remiss if I didn't include him. Mr. Cottleshire. I would love
Mr. C
to see Mr. C in here, so I'm going to bring him in next. Just giving him a bunch of I already did Breakout, Sarah. I'll try to follow the list. But yeah. Yeah, Mr. All right.
Hey,
Hello,
Hey.
Hey, it's me, Mr. C.
It's me. Yeah. Oh, dude.
I don't know why I was what was up with the Fat Albert, but you got it anyways. Hey, how's it going?
It works. Hey, man. Thoughts?
So yeah, I wanted to start off by saying it seems like the teams in, especially on the pre-stream stuff, they're in a lot better spirits. They're a lot more giddy and happy, and less like they're about to tell us that our payment plan isn't working out, and now they're gonna bust our kneecaps for money.
That's fair.
That is rather extreme, but I see where you're coming from.
It's kind of morbid there, Mr. C.
We're
MMO players. We're very depressed.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, as a millennial, it just doubles down. So.
Oh my gosh, we're stacking, as they mentioned. we're stacking.
It's MMOs all the way down.
Well, is there anything, on that note, is there anything that you'd be like critical of for the current situation after the Q&A?
So yeah, I am a little critical. So I'm curious if VR will be able to kind of get the narrative back from the clutches, because I imagine even after all this great news, there's still people be like, oh, it's that weird like Fortnite graphic game that has the extraction mode that's like dark and darker, even though only that's like a half true.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see if they can actually, get the narrative back. Like, this is an MMO, classically spirited PvE MMO, and
the way that I'd put that is when you think of Ashes of Creation, do you remember the battle royale thing that they tried to do or not? In general,
yeah.
Because I mean, essentially, what they did was, and granted, it was a while ago at this point. But they just kind of let it fade away. They just kind of let go, and then Ashes blew up with the switch to Unreal Engine 5. Lots of people really liked the way it looked and things like that. But I think that it's gonna take work. Like, I mean, you're talking about like the smallest portion of the people that are interested in Pantheon were in that QA, and even smaller portion here now.
They need to get the word out, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things it's just like proof by doing. That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
The more that they create, the more that they show, the more that they do, that's how they're going to get away from that. The way that Ashes of Creation got rid of from their own disaster was by creating, by showing, by doing things.
Yeah.
You're not not just rehashing it, don't keep bringing it up kind of thing. Just do. Just make people, give something for people to talk about that is positive instead of saying, hey, here's this negative thing and rehashing it over and over. That's my thought anyway.
Yeah, it's exactly the same situation that Hello Games and No Man's Sky was in.
Oh,
they just have to prove.
Man.
Yep.
They just have to prove that they can.
But yeah.
Yeah, they have to be methodical over and over and over, and keep the messaging clear. Keep it, it's all definitely staying on message, and incrementally we're going to get back to somewhere.
Yeah.
For the record, I never lost faith, even with 247. Just so you guys know.
For the record,
I just thought it was a thing.
Yeah.
But a thing. But that's how they're gonna get there. Is that they're going to be who they have been, in my opinion, always, and then just continue the message. So anyway.
I was very crestfallen, to put it lightly, when all that stuff came out.
Yeah, I would love to see a narrative that's kind of like, they listened and they're walking it out, and I think that last paragraph in the message that they put out about the announcement was pretty poignant, pretty important. Just to be real, because there are people that like that was the last straw. Like they're just like, I'm not even bothering now. And
it's valid.
Yeah,
it is valid, and
Totally.
like the space needs to be there for that. For like there's valid concerns, there's valid anger and frustration, and it's not just 247. Like I think we just have to validating the people's concerns and their positivity and negativity is important in any major project, including this one.
Yep, and it just comes down to we'll try to prove it to you, and hopefully people give them a 150th chance. And
yeah, that said, we've had a lot of progress within the last however many months it's been since.
Yeah.
And also we've gotten but did they? Yeah, they added Paladin. They announced it.
Yeah.
Did you just check yourself?
Yeah,
oh god.
I can't wait until the first, so I can just talk about stuff and not be like, hold on, are we talking about Voldemort? Are we talking about Voldemort? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Was there anything that was a surprise to you? That you hadn't heard before?
The thing I hadn't heard about was how they're implementing the new zones, which I think is smart. I talked about this privately. Is like they should have just done this, because they kind of shot themselves in the foot with Thronefast, making it such a huge and massive zone and completing it. What was it, 80% of the way? And I think it's smart just to be like, okay, here's a little chunk of the zone, test it out. Here's a little chunk of the zone, test it out, and then slowly grow it out.
Yeah. Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm gonna stick to my my word here. I'm gonna kick you out, Mr. C. I'm sure we will fight about all of this later.
Yes.
But thanks,
Mr. C.
I look forward to kicking you.
I do too.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. C.
Thanks to Sarah. We have a list.
All right.
I think it's Calico.
Yep. I got it. So Calico is next. I just need to find. They are not on the list.
Or they dropped. Doug.
They're not here. So
Dougbug.
I'm gonna get Dougbug. Yeah, see Dougbug a lot in chat, so I am ready. Oh my gosh, Too Tired to Care is here. Oh, this is a party. Look at that. All right, Dougbug. Hey, bud.
Savannah.
Welcome in.
Hey, Dougbug.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome in.
Excellent. How are you?
Well, I'm the one that said I'm on an emotional high, so pretty good. I'm hoping I'm not going to be too scattered here. I have my little notes.
We're all
up.
scattered. It's fine.
That's true. Although I don't know, you guys seem to know what you're doing. Let's see. The things that
yeah. Give us some
all
points.
right.
Give us some leaders here.
All right, I'm just going to go down through my things. First off, it seemed, I don't want to jump the gun,
Okay.
but the bean that Joppa seemed to want to give to me seems like Bard and Necro are going to be on the class matrix, especially the way he said, think of the word class, and he emphasized that word, and race. And he didn't say race the same way he said class. Maybe I'm a psycho and I'm reading things into it. But to me, if you look at my avatar in Discord, it's literally me as a bard, Bard is my class. So I'm hopeful that is true. I think that'll get the community more excited, and it goes back to that whole idea of how do you get back those good vibes. Classes are a huge thing. They're an iconic thing that I think people relate to, classes and races specifically.
So, sorry to interrupt, but I just want to remind people that Necro and Bard are on the class race matrix. They're just not on the class pages yet. So
yes,
just to throw that
agree.
out there. Yeah,
I think we want to see more of when you click on classes, you can click on Bard and see some of those alleged. Yep. If they have a class doc, for instance, and they have their spells and whatnot. But one point I do want to make about the good vibes thing is, I feel like the MMORPG genre is so small that even with negative press, I think most of the games get a shot. Because it's I would probably didn't want to play, what was Lost Odyssey? Is that the one that came out recently on Steam? What was the South Korean one? I don't know. But regardless.
Lost Ark.
Yeah,
Lost Ark. Yeah. So even in that is not a top-down isometric MMORPG is not really my jam, but I was willing to give that a shot. just because, I'm so starved. What the genre is starved that I think that a part of VR realized to their own detriment. I think that, if we show eventually, it won't matter. But I think that the negative backlash to this, in a way, was a positive, because now it's like they've realized, oh, wait a minute, maybe we should go more that Monsters and Memories route, where we're showing a lot of the stuff we're doing in progress. And this indie team, like, whenever I was just listening to the QA, when they're in those good vibes mode, and I've mentioned this in the past, I root for them so much because of the personalities on the team. That also, you start to get a connection to those people, and you want to see them succeed. So if they're even going out there and doing more of this stuff, it's just therapeutic in a way to the community, as crazy as that sounds. And I think that can never be a bad thing.
They brought us low so that we would feel the highs so much more.
At our lowest, they resurrected us. And one other thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know if you guys are even allowed to answer this, but back whenever you were like ReadbeardFlynn, whenever you got into stream, was that AVP or was that Thrown Fast? Because I can
answer that.
Yeah.
That's Thrown Fast.
Yep.
Okay.
It's worth noting that Thrown Fast and AVP, Avenger's Path, I know that I've thrown acronyms around, but Avenger's Path is very similar, and they've said this a lot, to Thrown Fast. So I think that also lends itself to, kind of coming along pretty quickly. But yeah. I love the point about the press, man. That may be true, that in this case, maybe any press is good press. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, and I hope that they show enough that it gains all those people back for sure.
Well, and just to quickly add to that thing, the MMO genre is starved for something new, which is very obvious when you look at Lost Ark hitting 1.3 million players and New World hitting almost 1 million players. Yeah. That's kind of crazy to think about, just how many people tried out those MMOs. There are other MMOs that haven't done as well, that have launched. But then even recently, Fractured Online relaunched after breaking up with their publisher. The reviews on Fractured Online now are mostly positive.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Since breaking up with their publisher. And they've been working on that MMO for free. We saw people rally around Project Gorgon recently to bring up funding for that game. And that was a really wholesome thing that happened. Mm-hmm. The genre itself is in a place where they need new games, and a lot of them are long ways off. And I think you're
not a lot of them are like this either. Like even now,
exactly.
Like that's the crazy thing is maybe this niche isn't so big, but there's obviously some demand for it, But
I'm with you so much on the hopium of Bard and Necro. So we'll wait and see, but I'm with you on that.
All right. Hey, Rich. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, Dougbug. Appreciate you.
Thanks. Love the show. Keep it up.
See you next time. All right.
See you next.
So, if I remember, Runar was next one.
Muggs
was
Muggs.
next one. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Yep. Sarah, you are right on it. Good
Muggsy. Muggsy. Unmute yourself, and I'll drag you in, bud.
I can't wait for a Sarah to get in here too and just rip into Des.
I told everybody I can't see that list, so
there's a lot to remember. There's a lot. It's just our job.
You guys can suck it up. You don't have to be first in or anything. You're good. All right.
Look, we just got called the B+ team. I'm gonna take that. We upgraded from B team to B+ team. Hello, Muggs.
Hey, yeah.
And who else is being positive but Muggsy?
What's up, team?
I'm just kidding.
How are you doing?
I have to say your name wrong just because it just cracks me up so much.
It makes me sound like a gangster. Muggsy.
Muggsy. Yeah, dude.
Or a basketball player.
Or that, yeah.
There you go.
So I think he could do that.
There's some nonsense that needs to stop.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And that's that you guys are called the B team.
Oh right. no! I'm throwing you back into the other channel.
I love it.
This could go either way. Is this a C team or the A team?
No. You guys are the A team, and Redbeard, you would be Pantheon Plus's Mr. T.
I like that, dude.
Awesome.
But you need to get like all of the jewelry, man. It would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Man.
I have bracelets somewhere.
You just have to say, "I pity the fool." You got to start saying that.
Who don't assist.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of sound bites, I hope Drac can get in here at some point. There's some good sound bites from that Q&A that he's gonna have to get. But
there's some good
Savanya,
clips.
Savanya planted a couple nice ones. Yeah.
Yes, she did. Planted a couple. Anyway, Bugs, what are you thinking about the? What are you thinking about the Q&A, man?
So I'll make it quick. I mean, not to sound like a rerun. I'm glad the community's back on the same page. It's not a split table anymore. I mean, look at the green room. That's a fantasy football league right there.
Love it.
It does feel good to have people interested again.
Oh yeah, and like positive tones. I was glad to hear of the financial clarity, only because
right off the bat.
feel like sometimes with Joppa, you got to have a decoder ring to really know what he's saying. So the cut and dry was great.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
True. They did a great job front loading in this Q&A. I really great job, guys. Just coming out with the big stuff first. No, I would like to say no chance for misunderstanding, but we'll see how it rolls out in the morning.
Right.
There's always gonna be misunderstanding, and that's totally fine. But it's good to have, like you're saying, front loading the stuff that's really important before people just kind of like fade out. But yeah.
Yeah, the pace is awesome. The confidence in their tone. I think Joppa's kind of redefined what soon means. He's brought the goalpost a little closer. So when he does say soon, it feels all right.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, you want Paladin? I'll give you Paladin. Then a week later.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that's exactly what I was going to say. That is I said something and now we did it and now we nailed it, right? I mean, you asked for it and we followed through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things we mentioned before. If you just keep doing those little things, they can even just be a bunch of little ones. That's fine. Just follow through with those and man, is it going to turn things around, in my opinion. So
on that note,
I think getting in
it's all about the little victories right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It really
stacking little victories. But I gotta say, sorry, go ahead, Red.
Oh no, I was just gonna say just basically the same thing, the little victories thing of adding in the classes is gonna be big, adding in different zones for people to see, even just pieces of the zones is gonna be big. The doing is gonna be huge.
Completely agree. But since we were talking about Paladin, there was so much class hype. After years of us just being like, we just want the classes, please. And then Joppa's like bang, 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 bang. This is we're going to be rolling, just Warrior. Really going ham on that. That is, I feel like we're not that hard to please. And it's been very frustrating, I'll admit. The last few years of not really getting the really basic things that we wanted. And there's reasons for that, right? They're basically rebuilt the whole game and there's some foundations that really need to be laid so that they can do this stuff rapidly. So it's nice to see that play out. But man, if you want to win over your community, content and classes and races we'll come back in droves,
Oh yeah, we're eating good.
Yeah.
And even though and it's one of those things that's kind of gone a little bit under the radar, but even though I know that a lot of people have been frustrated with the art style change and everything like that, I think we're seeing a bit of that faster progress because of the change. But also, I mean, I like that they have at least said, and they said it in not in the vocal Q&A, but in the chat, they said it a couple other places, that they're looking at ways to add grit. Not change it, it is done, it is set, this is the art style, but looking at ways to add grit. And I think seeing some of the newer screenshots has been good, and they need to just keep that flowing. when they dial in the lighting, showing more, as it progresses, continuously showing the progression, I think that can go a long way in showing, because lighting can make a huge difference in art style, and
Yep.
not art style, but in visuals.
I've been kind of jokingly saying, in pulling games like Valheim, that's very like low poly, low texture, as an example, it's like lighting and post processing can cover up just a ton of art sins. Sorry about
New World models look kind of gross and plain if you look at them too closely, but they have some of the best lighting I've ever seen in an MMO.
Yeah, agreed. Anything else, Bugs? Before we get the Southern Queen in here?
Before Des kicks you out?
No, I mean, I appreciate you guys' time, and I'm glad that they've realized it's pre-alpha and the perfectionism can be pulled back a little bit, and they can just give us scraps. I'm cool with that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm easy. Scraps are fine.
Yep. Consistent scraps. Can we just get consistent scraps? Anyway, thanks,
Heard
Bugs.
Here, ManOfRohan is easy and scraps are fine.
Yep. Easy.
Oh my gosh. See you, Mugs.
Yep. Don't tell all the high school ladies out there, but I meant when I was in high school. Oh gosh, that turned creepy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
Oh no.
I meant when I was in high school.
Wait, let me save you, ManOfRohan. Just say, Mugs, thank you for your time as well. We appreciate it. Everyone in the green room, thank you for your time, because it's appreciated. It makes it easier for us so that ManOfRohan doesn't make weird comments.
We've had this conversation that I accidentally say something embarrassing like that.
You're still digging. All right, we're just gonna bring Sarah.
I'm not digging. I'm saying I screwed up. Sorry, everyone.
You're fine. All right, that's Sarah. On that note,
shovel.
Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
You're welcome, and for keeping the whole show straight, basically. Good Lord. Hey, guys.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Also, write down the date that Des gave me a compliment. At least I'm taking Southern Queen as a compliment.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. There you go. There you go. That's a title.
So, I was like half an hour late because kid stuff, but man, I was so shocked that as soon as I hopped in, the vibe was completely different from just a couple weeks ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I missed the whole funding announcement, which I'm going to have to go back and listen to. But I kind of wish we could have avoided the whole 247 fiasco, because I know it sucked for a lot of people. But I am really impressed that they did actually decide to do the fail fast thing, and I really feel like I could be. This is my feeling, speaking for the VR team, but I feel like they are like, oh, thank God, we're done. Like, never mind. Let's just get back to, like, they were like, this is an idea that we feel like we have to try, and everybody was like, guys, no, and they were like, okay, you're right.
just put this in, there wasn't really any funding news. It's just like one of the first things that they said was, we're not out of money. Like, they just straight up, they were just like, we're not out of money, guys. Like, just let's be super clear about that. We're just trying to find ways to do this faster. And they're always going to be looking for
sure.
That. Yeah. And
right off the hop too. So
we'll see how the media outlets, misinterpret that one. But yeah,
look, I'll be first to say, like, I kind of misinterpreted it, because that's the way it felt like. It felt like, why are they doing this? Because it felt like they had to know that this was going to be negative, so why try? And the only reason I could come up with was they needed more money. And it's not to say that they don't need more money, because I need
more money.
I don't think there's a single crowdfunded MMO that does it. Well, okay, there's one exception.
No.
I don't think there's a single crowdfunded MMO that doesn't need more money, because you're making on a 5% budget, less than 5% budget of how these games are normally made. So, like, it was definitely, I liked hearing that at the beginning, because it helped clear up some of my own concerns that I had. Not that, like, it obviously was a thing, but
Yeah. Well, it was one of the things that there's been a lot of conjecture about and a lot of worry and fear about. So, I mean, it might not be like, "Hey, we got all of this new funding." That it might not have been that announcement, but it still was clearing stuff up, which is not what they usually do. So I'm happy to hear they did that.
Yes, I hope they don't go away from like this frankness that they're doing. I hope they don't go away from it.
Dude, same.
Because it's been very refreshing, and not just in the Q&As. I think the letters have been better. I feel like the letters have been
specifically.
This last letter, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sparrow's video did a really good job of just showing how effective
people
I guess
interpret
the last
it.
letter was.
Mhm.
So like that is the model, guys. Like you got it. And also, if you haven't watched Sparrow's video,
when people are tearing up at your letter, I think it's good. I think you did well.
Also sent somebody an example of like what it could sound like to communicate to people. So maybe that helped. Maybe not, but maybe it did.
Well, anything else? Like, I mean, I can see the theme in like the tone and the Q&A like delivery was good. Did you catch any like big drops that you were?
Big drops. I'm shocked they are working on pets already because that's
will be
something
soon.
that.
Yep. Right after Warrior
next week.
Oh, right after Warrior. I almost forgot to mention. Right after Warrior, which they said he might be in on Saturday. Like that was a huge surprise. It's like if not Saturday, like the next patch, and so like that's huge. But yeah, they're starting to work on pets, which we all know what that means.
Yeah, so that's something that people have been asking for. It sounds like they are something else that they listen to, which is kind of shocking. And then Joppa saying the thing about how I didn't know it. People are like, it's not AVP, it's AP. Whatever. AVP would be out, before the end of the year if it wasn't for holidays. Like that's kind of that. I was surprised to hear that. So I did ask in the Q&A, and Sav answered. Thank you, Sav. I just wanted them to confirm because there was a lot of negativity around the art change too, right? So I was like, did the art style change speed up development like you said it was going to? And the answer was specifically yes.
Yes, just like straight yes.
Yes.
I love how many of the answers were just yes.
It wasn't yes, it was yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
I think even more than just hearing that, we're kind of seeing it.
We are
seeing it. Just having the Paladin in, right? That alone. And once we start seeing more stuff come online in the next couple of months, I think that's really going to prove it. And that'll I think go a long way. Like again, I feel like I'm just repeating myself here, but we're at the point where just keep showing. Just keep showing.
Drop the NDA. I agree with Des. Like it's been too much time to continue to try to have an NDA. Clearly, it's not working. The leaks are negative. That's not going to help anything. Just drop it and show us what you got. I mean, Monsters and Memories does like streams where they just sit there and build the game and talk to people, and that's like, for their following that they have, that's pretty popular.
On that note, I don't know if you were there for like Ben kind of giving his take, which not approved yet, but his take on how easy it should be for people to sign up and stream the game. I think
I heard that.
I understand why they don't want just a complete NDA drop. I think just for the sake of some people tend to be fairly nefarious in how they will like purposefully portray a game, and there's still an opportunity to do that even in this way. But I'm not like, I can see their like hesitation, even though I also want a full NDA drop as well. But yeah, if they match the verbal NDA drop with more possibility to stream and show content, get it approved efficiently, I can't imagine this wouldn't be just a massive publicity win, Yeah,
and that's something else that they said. Like we were trying a way to get streamers, to get stuff out to you guys, and it wasn't working well, and we were trying to figure that out. So I was glad to hear that too. It's funny, like the things that you would think wouldn't be that complicated, right? But it's still, they do have to figure stuff out. So anyway, I'm impressed with that they actually did fail fast. I was afraid this was going to linger for a long time. I'm super impressed to see
Yeah.
how fast stuff is coming out, and I'm just happy to be back on the hype train, man.
Yeah, it feels.
I'm sad I
Feels
don't
a
get to
lot
play
better.
247. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. We can
I
still.
was
We
looking
can
forward
Okay,
to playing.
we're
That's
kicking
it.
ManOfRohan
That's it.
out. Of,
Yeah,
no, I'm
that's
just kidding.
fair.
I'm
That's
just
fair.
kidding. Maybe
Okay,
maybe
I'm
you will get
leaving.
an opportunity just to bring in the Q&A thing, but maybe you will get an opportunity in Joppa's PvP mode. Someday. There you go.
We can make it
No, I
PvP
just-
for you, ManOfRohan.
Which
No,
I think
I'm
that was
just-
one thing that got kind of like a little bit glossed over because it was in the chat. But like basically how easily they were able to change things with rule sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, they even
That
mentioned
does
a rule
open
set
up-
system, right? Like,
Yeah, a rule set system, and I asked like in chat, and I got the response of like, yeah, it does open up the ability to have different rule set servers in the future, which I think is a really good thing to consider. And like you heard Joppa talking about the PvP server and locking it within level ranges and stuff.
yeah.
And I like that they have the tools already to do that.
He's
in
gonna
his own-
use the official account to post
Oh.
the first message
Oh, what
just
have I
to
done?
say this.
My first testing session in December is going to be 247. Just me.
There it is, folks. There it is.
Let all the alphas in.
by
Everybody's
yourself.
targeted on
Go
more. See how long he survives.
No,
Oh,
play with me,
God.
guys. Help me. Anyway,
all right. So,
Oh, man.
any last thoughts before we get to Runar? Right, I believe was next.
Yes, Runar. Look at you. You get a gold star. Nope, that's
Wow.
it. You can kick me out.
All right. All right. Thanks,
thanks,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Bye, guys.
All right. If you didn't hear Runar, just make sure you are unmuted. I can't. Looks like you are.
He is. Yeah, pull him right in.
Okay, so
I've got it. I can be the relay.
thanks, bud. Be
Welcome
my
in.
eyes, ManOfRohan. Hey there, Runar.
I'll be the accidentally inappropriate relay. That's what I'll do.
Hold on, I
Runar,
think
how
I
you
gotta,
doing?
I gotta mute Twitch. That was
yeah,
terrible.
it can get pretty
Yes.
disorienting. But welcome to the stream. Have you been on before?
No, so I've been
Awesome.
part of Nathan's community for a little over a year.
Yeah,
Been
I've seen you around.
Pantheon supporter since 17 or 18, but not really been big on the Pantheon community just because I'm more of a sit back and wait type of person.
That's
And,
great.
Mhm.
That's great.
Eating up every piece of lore, every bit of class information for a game I can't play is just to me maddening. So I've been pretty sit back and wait until the recent changes, and I've probably been more involved than I've ever been. So I decided to join you guys tonight. So I'm Ruinar on the official forums and Discord. Backwoods Joe, BJ, as
Oh,
You're Backwoods
Sorry,
Joe?
I've seen your
Yeah.
name.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
called
Yeah.
me, and just Joe on Nathan's channel. So
I promise you I will forget all of that, but I've seen you around.
Yeah,
so
no, that's
I'll
So, I decided to join and talk a little. Got to give Sarah a shout out. She's my kind of people. I'm northern redneck. She's southern redneck. So,
Nice.
and she stole some of my stuff today. The fail fast thing is important, and it's something that VR's had a big problem with in the past.
Yep.
They pursue things long past their viability, then switch gears. And I'm not saying they could have done it better. I mean, they could have, but with the knowledge they had, the experience they had, I don't know that they had to learn these lessons. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
An example is, we saw all the completed races, right? They were like, "Woo, we got all the models," and showed them off.
Mhm.
And then it was, "Oh, okay, well, we got new artists and we're redoing all the models." Then we saw the
Yeah.
humans and we're working on the other ones. And then it's like, "Oh, okay, now we have an art change," right? And there's examples of that where for the community, it feels like it's one step forward, two steps back, right? And those feelings are valid. If you follow Pantheon closely, you've seen enough of that it can be discouraging, right?
Absolutely.
But tonight,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm grinning ear to ear, knowing I'm going to finally get to log into Terminus for the first time in December. And as cautious as I am, based on history, I can't help but be, over the moon excited about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I'm with you.
Also, it's really nice to meet you, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I do like
So
your whole like stance though of just like generally speaking being able to kind of take a back seat on things, because it's hard to know how many of like you there are out there, that are still following Pantheon. We could kind of estimate, but my hope is that there's a lot more of you out there than even I think.
Well, I think there's more people that are even less involved than me than we could ever imagine that will definitely jump in the game as soon as they can. I think that's been a big part of VR's anxiety, is they have all these people ready to jump in the game, and what you don't want is all these people to jump in the game and play for a couple weeks and then walk away disappointed.
Right.
And then they never come back, right? So I think that's been a lot of the pressure they've been under when everyone's like, oh, get people in the game, get people in the game. It's like, yeah, you say that, but if they get in the game and they hate it, well, they might not come back, right? So I think there's tens of thousands of people just ready to jump in this game as soon as they open it. And I think once they open alpha, they're going to get a bunch of new pledges, or at least pledge upgrades.
I'm especially curious how alpha pledges are going to experience the game when it happens, because we've been doing this for a really long time, and my opinion has generally been that Pantheon's core is still so engaging to me that I would, I'll even play 247 for it, right? But but like the core, like the fundamentals, how it feels, and kind of the foundation, I guess, has been in a place that has, kept me around. And I've been so wanting to share that with the greater community that it's like, okay, well, obviously the continent's not done. It's taking a long time to get stuff out, like all that stuff. But like that core feeling of the game, I just want people to experience that. And I would love to hear how it feels to you guys if it doesn't feel the same, like if we've just been so like biased.
I'm gonna keep a journal.
But
I jumped into M&M this weekend, and I just wanted to see how many zones I could hit. And so I didn't even play the game. I spent for like the first hour and a half, almost 2 hours. All I did was run, and I kept doing who to see who was in the zone with me. And for the most part, I was alone. So my fear is that people are so VR, like with this 247/24/7 and all that confusion. They're now going to have with alpha versus pre-alpha, because if you pledged for alpha, you're going to get into pre-alpha, but it's not alpha.
Yeah, that confusion's already...
So now you're going to have communication where people are like, oh, this is alpha? No, it's not alpha. Oh, I only get alpha for 24 hours? No, it's not alpha.
Yep.
It's something extra. You're getting into pre-alpha early.
It really is a consolation prize. Like we can call it what it is. Like it's a consolation prize.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, VR.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just worried about,
No, I agree.
I said, I'm grinning ear to ear. It's just another one of those things where people are going to be like, oh, this is alpha?
Yep.
And then you're going to have all this content about how their alpha sucks. It's like, no, it's called throwing their alpha pledgers a bone.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I think the main confusion is going to be on, like, and the main frustration and legitimate frustration would be thinking that if you pledge for alpha, what's going to be the schedule? How can you test? When can you test? Because it is still in pre-alpha, it's not an alpha. Anyone going into an alpha of a game and expecting it to be like basically feature complete, like good, is kind of missing the point of alpha. But I think that like the whole, like even like for me, it's a little bit confusing already, because right now, as far as my understanding is, where it stands is alpha testers will get to test at some point in December, and then it's up in the air whether we get other tests or not and stuff like that. And I think that needs to be very clear before any kind of push for any more pledges or anything like that, because you can't have players pledging to alpha expecting to get to play because you had one alpha test. It needs to be very clear what's going to happen going forward, because we are still in pre-alpha, not in alpha. And so I think yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. What they could do is make another pre-alpha category and add it to the pledge package, but that would just, I mean, we're just talking like layers of confusion here. The other thing I wanted to leave this with is Asura started talking about pets, and other people talked about the accelerated level of development. And I've been in IT for like 20 years, and I've been an engineer for a while, and I've seen how these projects can they restart, they can restart multiple times, and it's expensive, and it's a terrible way to do a project, but it happens. But then you reach a critical point where you have everything lined up and they start to accelerate. And I'm hoping that that's what we're seeing with Pantheon, is that we've I think everyone, with all the news from 2022 and going into 2023, they were showing us all their quest building tools, their class building tools, all this stuff. And we were all thinking, oh, now they have all the tools and the pipelines in place that by the end of 2023, they'll be ready to throw people in alpha. That didn't happen. But I think that's because we overestimated their tools and where they were at. And I'm getting the feeling that now they're actually there.
Yeah, it definitely took longer than was expected. But, I wouldn't say it's an inevitability, but it is kind of the way that things go. And yes, we have had a huge redo, multiple huge redos. But the main one being the refactor. So, they're never going to escape the 10 years in development thing. It's never going to go away. But if I go by the refactor and I'm like, well, we're looking at maybe 4 years-ish, maybe a little more than 4 years of real development from a small team, I at least can justify a little bit. And it makes me, fairly excited for where we're at. And I know I've been kind of touting like, no, there's progress, guys. Like 247, but like there's progress. And I think I'm with you, man. I think we are starting to get to that acceleration stage, and them being able to show that is hopefully going to assuage a lot of fears.
Well, I'll drop off, but I think that's the only way that they right the ship is progress, showing us what they're doing and releasing content, and that will basically prove that what they were saying this whole time is right, and it's really the only way to prove it.
Yep, I completely agree. Well said, and dude, thanks for coming on, Joe. I can't wait to have you in here again, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully we can scare you away.
See you guys next time.
See ya.
Yeah, next time. Easy.
All right, moving along here because
it's Essen, I believe.
Yep, I can already tell I'm going to miss my hour and a half shindig goal, but we're having a good time, right?
We're working on it.
Stop right before Nathan.
You guys can stay up.
Stick around.
Yeah. So we're.
I had an energy.
We're to the.
Gank from PVL is in the green room too, so we gotta get Gank in.
Of course, a PVL person is it. If you guys don't know, PVL is the company that has been contracted by Visionary Realms to do all the audio and audio hookup in the game. That is progressing very nicely, I would like to say. But they have been they bombed our Discord, the Pantheon Plus Discord. And it's just been such a riot ever since they showed up. But we'll be sure to get you in here. But first on the list was the Reptilian King himself to match the Southern Queen, Essen. So, hey, Essen.
What a fairy tale. Southern Queen marries the Reptilian King.
Was it the Princess and the Frog? That's close
something like that?
That's pretty close, except for that's an amphibian, right? So, I knew
amphibians are a cheat. They're an add-on to the reptile category.
They're an add-on.
Do you even scales, bro? Anyway.
Exactly.
So,
do you even impermeable skin? Loser.
How you doing, man?
Oh, am having a slight of a collective guilt trip right now.
Ooh.
Because
Okay.
yeah, because I'm looking at like my biggest complaint is about VR. It's like stop Stop promising us new stuff. I don't want to hear a word about new stuff. Just show me what you're adding in. I don't care what's coming down the line because I don't know if that line's ever coming. But if you put it in the game, well, then it's real. So keep putting stuff in the game. And I'm like, I'm listening to the thing, and people are asking like, bards, necros, are we getting bards and necros? And it's like,
and you're like, shut up.
We're the assholes because all we ask for is beans. We ask for future stuff. They're like, oh, we got to tell them future stuff. And from their perspective, like, people love it when you tell them about future stuff. They're excited about it. They're hopeful for it. So like, they want to do it. We want it, and it's like it's a feedback loop of stupidity.
Are you blaming the players?
Yeah, we're both guilty.
Well, okay, but
you're fan shaming right now.
Really Come on, let me just tell you.
Yeah.
What now? I couldn't hear you.
ManOfRohan?
I didn't. I said you're fan shaming right now, and then Redbeard said something.
Oh, I just said blaming the Pantheon community goes over really well.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, you know what? They got it coming, myself included.
But then, you know, let's like flip it completely on its head here and be like, oh yeah, we're putting Warrior in next weekend or like on Saturday.
Okay,
I like that VR.
Next Saturday is a little different than future stuff, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Then soon, it's better than soon.
Way better than soon.
None of that stuff soon. And like, oh man, you guys can't wait to see the perception system. Don't show me if it's not there. Just put it in there. Like, stop giving us beans.
We've been hearing about it for a long time. Yep.
All the stuff. There's so many promises. The whole website is like, here's all the classes and here's our abilities. Like, no, it's not. And like, no, it's not. Don't show us something unless it's there. At the beginning, you can make big promises because you have to tell people what the game is about. But at this point, like, promises only work there. They backfire because we're not seeing it, and so we're disillusioned.
Yep. I'm noticing a theme here of show.
I think it's a fine line. It's a fine line between saying what's coming and over-promising, because there's obviously going to be things that, you know, come up that you don't expect. So you may expect it to come soon, but then also if you don't say anything, then there's no hype either. So it's definitely a fine line. But I think at this point, it needs to tighten up. Like, tell us about the Warrior. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, those are the things that are good now. Like, just tighten up that time frame of when you say the thing and when we get it. Because at least for a while, we really just need to see things soon. So tell us and then get it in like a month.
I'm going to disagree and say it's a big, fat line.
A big fat line?
Between promise and future stuff. Because like, if the Warriors coming in, you say, hey guys, next Saturday, the Warriors coming in the game with these abilities. Because you've already tested it, you already know it works. So even like the near future stuff is the past stuff. And what you hear about, I do want them to be a black box Dagny style. I'm just screaming out for no particular reason. I want them to only, because they've given us like, so they've been a Pandora's box, turned back into a black box, and just like give us the stuff. Just tell us the new patch notes, and then please, for the love of God, when someone asks you like, have things sped up since the new graphics? Yes is not sufficient. You need to tell me by how much they've sped up by. That should be your only concern about making the game, is how much has it sped up by. So like, we've hit 6 major tasks in a week. We used to hit 4. Like, we sped it up by 40%. I don't know numbers, but like the only focus.
Putting it into easily understandable terms is a good. I agree.
In specific terms, not just very specific terms. Because like at this point, after the whole 247 thing, like, do I believe you? If you just say yes, you need to show me.
Yeah. Well, hey, they are they being Sav are consistently throwing PA screenshots up on the website, and it's kind of fun to me because you can almost watch the progress of like when we first saw the art style to where it is now. Like it is coming along. Like again,
But who's looking at the website?
People that want to know about the game. I mean,
yeah, they're probably just going to Reddit.
Who goes to Reddit anymore?
We just had this conversation.
Google still sends
The
people to
Pantheon
Reddit, so you
Reddit
can blame
doesn't
them.
exist. It can't hurt you if you don't acknowledge it. Anyway, anything else, Essen?
I wrote stuff down. That's the good news. The bad news is I can't read this. Oh yeah, that was my question. Did the devs speed up after the art change? And yeah, you need to give us specifics on that, or it's not real.
Okay. Well, VR's in the house. we'll see how they pass that ball back. But
Essen, as someone who has to answer those kinds of questions in my job, I hear exactly what you mean. That people who are asking about progress, they want to know, yes, numbers, but they want to know the simplest version of that to know that you are really doing things. So saying we used to only complete this many things a sprint, and now we're completing this many things a sprint makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear you.
All right.
Fair.
Solid. If I remember correctly, it is Sparrow, right?
I'm leaving before you kick me out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, bye, Essen.
Bye, Essen.
Thank you, Essen.
He's already gone. He's already gone.
Essen had some really good points.
Yeah, totally. And I know Essen's like big thing has been communication. And I don't think that's over. We've seen some really good steps though, for sure. So let's see that momentum keep going. But I am gonna grab Sparrow against my better judgment. Let me grab her and put her in this channel.
Hello, Sparrow.
All right.
You're only gonna be positive now. Great.
Wait, real quick, but before Sparrow's YouTube channel, go check out Sparrow's YouTube channel.
All right.
Sparrow's perch.
Sparrow's been kicking some ass lately.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I love you.
Aww.
So I just wanted to come in and say why I'm over the moon, because anyone who has seen the video knows I'm crazy excited. So all the things that I'm celebrating that we can toss in the fire that won't be in the game any longer. So no timer. I don't have to wait to hop in and be like, I got to rush to the spot and find something. And then I got to get back to this extraction point. Goodbye. Being able to res people.
No one can rush Sparrow. I just want to.
No, I move at my own Sparrow pace.
You can't put baby in a corner. You can't rush Sparrow. Both of those things are true.
Being able to res somebody like in your group or whatever when they die.
Yeah.
The near death being back.
That's very important to me.
Yeah. Like,
Being
how
the
would you
person that's
feel as a
normally
healer? Oh,
Yeah, you just want to resurrect our corpses.
right.
Jesus.
Right, Necro.
As someone that's played with Red, can confirm.
Oh, wow.
Love that near death is back. That's so fun. Adds so much flavor, tension, excitement. I love the near death.
Do you like that they're shortening the timer? Like, so it's it's kind of an in between. Like, it's still urgent. Like, it's actually more urgent now than previously to help facilitate.
Totally okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with them tweaking that's going to change all over the place till it actually is perfected. I'm fine with that moving around.
I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but did they talk about a shortened death timer?
No, not a shortened death timer. It's so if you go near death, you have less time to get revived, basically.
Okay.
And for people that may not remember all about near death is like extreme purple club. Um,
Yeah.
you get
Right.
one chance to go down. And there's like quite a long, like you can't just keep doing this. I keep having to approve messages. So there's a bit of a, wait time before you can go down like this again, but anyone can pick you up. That's kind of the key. It just takes a lot of time. And if you have a group all doing it, it's less time that it takes, but it's kind of a pseudo res. But there's a lot of downsides to it. So you have to be really careful. Like you still don't want to go down. But anyway, sorry, Sparrow's.
Before we jump off that, and I don't think this is any NDA or anything, but when I was playing, and I did the video and everything, it's insult to injury when you fall off of something and then you're in near death. Like you just have to, you sit there and you live with your decisions. And as someone that doesn't like living with my decisions, I felt offended.
Yeah.
Well, how about then you're like crawling across the ground and somebody's just standing there looking at you?
Yep.
I hope no one saw me, but I
love
crawling across the ground.
If you guys remember, you could like pitifully like crawl just slightly, at the expense of your purple bar. Yeah. It's a great system. It's a great system.
It is. It's fun. And I think was that Steve Clover? I want to say it was
maybe.
Steve Clover.
I think they put
that was crawling
it in, right? I think, right?
Yeah.
Sounds
I might
right.
be wrong.
I think it was,
but I think it was.
Or he finished it off. Yeah, he did, according to what I remember.
Yeah. And another Steve Clover item is the banker is back in the world. So you don't have to go to some stupid extraction thingy tower to go to the bank. You get to go to your banker and merchants and trainers, and all that is back in the world where it belongs. We have 6-man
You're very
groups
right.
back. Like
4-man
groups.
Excited to hear that. Yes, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
6-man.
So that's going on the fire heap. Now we're back to 6-man. Everyone in the zone can talk and interact with each other, not just like these phases. I don't know if they talked about how big the phases were, but I didn't like that they were small.
Oh, so yeah, I was up to 100. But
Right.
I guess we can't really comment on that. But yeah,
Right. I wasn't sure if that was discussed. So,
But yeah, the number
but
was
I'm
given
happy
out
it's back
publicly.
to.
We're all together again.
Yay! I can just /ignore a whole bunch of other people now.
Well, the social window though, like we're coming
I didn't
back
even know
into
that was a
this
thing.
with the social window. Like LFG looking for more, the full like who set up, like friends list. Like it's
nice.
It's MMO.
I heard the word improvements in regards to that, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. I think I only have a couple more things.
Okay. All right.
But that we can change our spells and abilities now when we're out in the world. What the hell was that? What was that? I'm so happy that that's back. And that you can get your gear off your corpse. So that cool sword you brought out that you got 2 extractions ago, and then you're out and you're dead, and your sword's gone. Yeah, that's gone. Now we're back to let's go for a fun corpse run. Yes, please.
Or go on Discord or OOC chat and just beg someone, please get my stuff, please. Yeah, it's also I got a shout out. Thank you so much, Backwoods Joe. Appreciate you. Now you're part of our community too. So me and Nathan get to share you. Like maybe like we can get you on weekends and like Nathan. Anyway, sorry.
So that was all the stuff I could remember. I don't know. Was there any more that you guys could remember that you're just so happy is back to normal?
Well, as far as normal, I don't know because I don't
know either.
I don't know. But something that I didn't really hear was that before was the reputation system and tiered merchants was new to me.
Yep, that came.
So, those are cool new things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I like tiered merchants. Sounds awesome.
I think one of the most fun parts about this is that a lot of things that did come in with 247, it got overshadowed with the gameplay loop. are like still in the game in some way. Like the tiered merchants and reputation, like the all those quests that came with the 11. Actually, Sparrow, how do you feel about like how they're using a lot of the stuff from 247 to further facilitate testing? Like putting the 11 in a veil and then using the tower as like a portal hub?
I guess I'll have to hold my nose and walk into the tower. But yeah, I'm happy that actually, if they weren't using anything, that would be sad. That would be a whole wasted year or whatever.
Yeah.
So no, I'm super happy. I'm excited to see it in the MMO, like the factions and all the new things that they've done that you pointed out and brought me a lot of hope when I thought things were looking pretty crummy. And you're like, no, they're doing this. You listed off a ton of stuff, and that made it a lot better. So I'm excited to see those things you listed in the MMO.
Awesome.
Yes.
So far,
and
so good.
I just had a suggestion for the stream things. Maybe open up a stream day, kind of like how Eminem just says we're going to have this open
completely agree on
play
that.
testing, and just have a stream day instead of needing to do all the work behind getting scheduled people in. Just say, hey, we're having a play test open to streamers for 2 hours, 4 hours, I don't know, and you can come in and stream what you want in this zone or whatever.
It is so fun to have the community rally around as well when that kind of stuff happens. People we're raiding each other. We're like, kind of sharing the community. People are hopping between streams and getting different perspectives. It's just so, it would be epic. Well said, Nathan.
Yeah.
Well, look at Ben in the chat. He likes that idea.
Uh-oh.
Good job.
Nice.
Yeah. It's honestly, it streamlines it. And I really feel like having experienced the game, the MMO, and having the opportunity to actually make a video about it, the core gameplay will alleviate so many concerns that like just people being able to play it, like because I had concerns alleviated by playing it,
yes.
Just people getting to experience what they have been wanting, I think is so huge.
Yeah. And maybe a lot more people might pick up an alpha pledge here or there because they want to stream it once in a blue moon.
Maybe.
I mean, that could maybe.
Okay, Nefel, I am hyped for it. I'll tell you right now. Since I was already banned for sharing a color that they used in 247, so it's all out on the line. But Nef, the last like maybe 15 to 20 hours of 247, I spent crafting, and I want you to know that I had a great time.
As someone who really benefited from others crafting for me, it's great.
Okay. I did want to note a few things though that I just want to be a little bit proud of, because like listing all those features and everything, and I'm really glad that I would hope at least that the idea that this was a like full spin-off is just dead. Like I really hope that that's just dead, because they literally said, okay, we're just shutting this off immediately and we're going to be back to the MMO in a few days. Like, if that doesn't alleviate any kind of like concern that this was some like, whole, 50 steps back kind of a thing, I don't know what to tell people,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not
But
landmark, guys.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
I just said it's not landmark, guys.
It's not?
No.
It actually is different.
They immediately flipped the switch to go back. We were mentioning this before the Q&A stream, how quickly they, so the planning involved to implement this, they were able to just, I don't know, use Launch Darkly or something and just turn it right off. I don't know. But, flipping it right back off it means that there was great planning, or it was really simple to implement. I don't know. So
yep.
I loved Landmark Essen.
I did too.
I really liked it. But
anyway.
But I won't comment on the politics there. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. My only last point was that I'd be perfectly happy with the 247 the model that they were using as their PvP. I don't play PvP, so I probably wouldn't hop in it. It is not my thing, but I think people that like the PvP would like what they were offering.
They do exist.
I'd really like to hear. I'd like to hear from the VIPs that did try it out in the PvP sense. Is that kind of what you're looking for PvP? Like, I haven't really spoken about that because I don't like PvP, except Battlegrounds, which is not what they want. So it wouldn't be. Yeah, I like the Battlegrounds, the whole, like, I get to do it for like 20 minutes and then get out and be done and like go wash. So I don't like PvP.
Go wash.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe you should go wash and go to bed or something. Because it's probably late. It's
we
late.
still have 4 people.
I know.
Yeah, you got work to do.
And they're really great 4 people too. So I'm gonna get Nathan next. So I'm gonna get him prepping. But thanks so much for coming in, Sparrow. It was lovely, and
my pleasure.
Just
Thanks,
so
Sparrow.
glad we could chat like this and not fight anymore.
Oh, there'll be more. There'll be more.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Awesome. All right, Nathan, the hype man himself.
It's my favorite Dire Lord.
That's what he's invited in with.
Oh, not now that Paladin is in. You can't say that now.
Uh-oh. Are you there, Nathan?
Oh, we can't hear you, Nathan.
Uh-oh. Of everyone that we don't get. Oh, here, I'm going to refund that redeem because I actually don't have that. That's a Drac thing. Sorry, bud. Doop-a-doop-doop-doop.
That's
okay.
That's my son. You can just let it be.
All right.
Yeah, pull Nathan back.
All right. And let's
Essen, you don't get those points back.
I'm sure it's getting late over there in Montreal too, so let's get Gank. Let's get Gank in here.
I think Nathan's good to go.
Oh, he's good to go?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry to whoopsie. Okay, Nathan, you better.
Hey, Nathan.
You're here, right?
Hey! Sorry.
There we go.
The problem
Welcome.
with PC setup is that I clicked unmute on the wrong PC, so it's.
That's fair.
So listen, Dire Lord no more. I heard what you said. Dire Lord no more. Paladin is in the game. You will never see the Nathan Napalm play a Dire Lord ever again.
Dude, if the NDA was dropped right now, I would be talking so much smack on you. But it is.
That's right. You ain't allowed to yet. Maybe that things your NDA not allowed to talk about might be solved by then. We don't know.
You know what? I probably will. But you know what? And I'll be fighting you as a warrior by the time that's
I love it. I'm so excited about the warrior, dude. That's my second class I've been hyped about too.
Oh,
when the paladin class released and what happened then, well, in Terminus they say that the Napalm's small heart grew 3 times that day. That's
oh my god!
Christmas. We're getting close to Christmas, so you know.
There we go. What a Christmas! Is this our VR present and gift to the community?
I felt like this was one of the best Christmas presents I ever got. Was, and I gotta say too, they're talking dates now, right? Like last Q&A, Joppa said Paladin Warrior before Christmas. It's not even the end of November. Looks like we're gonna have them both. So excited, man. Yeah. I just really feel, you can read patch notes now. Like the progress has been good. And I'm so excited. It's really looking good. And
sorry, between the patch notes like being out in the open and the verbal NDA drop, like I feel free as a bird. Like I am
Agreed.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we've been like content creators have been really in this little cage where we were only allowed to squawk when somebody else squawked first, and it's been really difficult. I have a really big mouth. I cannot believe I have made it all the way. Now, arguably, I broke NDA by accident. You know,
yeah.
like I really have.
Yeah.
Like not on purpose, but like, you know, I just said I went a little bit too far. But you know, I didn't get banned. So I'm pretty, you know, that's really good for me, I feel like.
That's good.
So, I mean, obviously you're going to be excited about the possible content creator stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that like stood out to you that, you know, before we end the show and everything?
Well, I may have missed some things. I got a little bit of Wi-Fi aggro a couple times now, but
no.
I don't know. Maybe you guys have talked about some of this, but you know, I just thought, you know, I know you guys already talked about this, but real quick, just got to say that races coming in is a really big deal. The ogre and the gnome, and I don't know if you guys got to see, but Joppa did while you guys were streaming. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks good, so go check that out if you haven't. On the Joppa posted it publicly, and it's just like some art. Right, of like what they want the ogre to look like, and it looks great. And then he posted right after that a picture of the old ogre, a really good picture of the old one, which I loved. I loved the old one. I was very public about not liking the new ogre that we got last time with the short arms. I didn't like it at all, so I'm super excited to see that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be playing an ogre, and I never actually have ever played an ogre, but I always love seeing them in the world, right? Like, I don't have to play one to enjoy them. I love them just being part of the world and seeing them run around.
It was a really interesting approach where they're like, so we're going to do the smallest and the biggest race for obvious testing reasons, right? It totally makes sense. But I don't know about you guys. One of my favorite things, I mean, I play EQ2 right now. EQ2 and Vanguard, like that's kind of the Deseryn thing. And both of those have vastly different sizes of characters, and I love that. I love that so much, and I really want to see that play out well in Pantheon. And I love that they're embracing it too, being like you know, there might be some downsides to playing an ogre. I'm all about that because the community can solve those.
And I loved. I think EverQuest 2 did a good job, right? Where you know, you would see like you would see them like ducking in certain parts of dungeons, like they couldn't really fit well. They'd have to duck and crawl through. And that is immersive, cool. And I think even the ogre, even though it's not really what I would call like an ideal situation to be in, they like it too. They picked a big race because they want to be a big old thing and have to barely fit through areas, you know.
Absolutely.
It adds a lot of work to the teams to create something like to do that, because you basically have to create all these extra, you know, ways to attach the armor and animations and everything. But I freaking love it so much. Yeah, it is what drew me to EverQuest. It's what made me quit Ultima Online in the first place, because Ultima Online you could only be human, and EverQuest gave all these different choices, and like where it's not just like another version of a humanoid, like. I love that stuff, and I'm super excited. That's one of the things that I've always loved about Pantheon, and so I'm glad to see getting more traction on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a human. I already am a human.
Exactly. It's boring.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I want to be something else.
And they talked about AVP, and I want to say this because we literally talked about this on a stream, so I can say this. When I gotta be careful, I'm treading lightly here.
You only have to hold out for like 2 more weeks, Nathan. Just hold for 2 more weeks.
I'm almost there. All right, so okay, I want to say what I want to say. Everybody that's played pre-alpha already knows what I'm trying to say here when I say this. Very excited for AVP. Very excited for AVP and being able to play there. And I love that they're approaching this in a way where they're saying like, hey, it's not going to be finished. You're going to see some weird stuff, right? You're going to see, you might see some things unfinished or I just want to say something real quick though, that when I was listening to that really was just running through my brain that I wanted to scream at Joppa. When he was talking about the, like, yeah, there'll be spiders, right? But there may not be the dripping venom and all this. It's like, dude, we don't even know that, right? Like, only bothers you because you know that, right? We have no idea there's supposed to be dripping ooze off the egg sacs and stuff, right? We had no idea. It's a new place, new things to find, new discoveries. It's exciting. And later, when you add the ooze dripping off the egg sacs, we'll go back and be like, oh my gosh, it's so much cooler now. You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think there's a lot to be said, and I know I kind of touched on this earlier about just the core feeling of the game. And I feel like VR can really play to their strengths with this kind of a strategy. Because, yeah, I mean, whether you feel one way or the other about the art style, and I think I've made it pretty clear, like, I'm kind of on the I still don't really like it side for now.
Okay.
But no matter which way you slice it, I think most of the community is here for the gameplay. And if that is your strength, you're not going to do anyone any favors by trying to pretend your strength is, making modern, like, crazy AAA looking zones that are taking, 3 years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and especially for us right now, right? Like the people who spent the money to get into alpha or get into pre-alpha, right? The ridiculous majority of us are still in some form or another playing a really 20-year-old game, right? And that goes into also, Jop had said something else about, like, which I agree with, right? Like, don't put all your stuff out there for us to discover and all that. I agree with that. But also understand that we still play the same games from 20 plus years ago. We don't get bored of the content. We don't get bored of it.
Yep.
We will
That's
do
exactly
it
what I was saying.
over and over again. Yep.
Yep.
There it is.
But the person they just hired to do drippy things is pretty sad right now that you don't care about the dripping egg.
I do care, but I don't think we should have to wait for it, right? Like, those details are super important, and I really appreciate them, and I always will sit and just stare at them, right? And be like, this is so cool. I love this. And I will absolutely preach to the moon about how cool it is. But you don't have to wait for it, right? Like, you can let us in some zones that are completely half-baked and just let us be amazed and watch it grow. And that's a very satisfying thing for people who test, and that's all of us.
And I love their solution to that. Again, with, like, utilizing the tower as, like, the portal network, basically a stand-in for Druid and Wizard ports, but then utilizing it to basically teleport people to the places that is ready for testing, so that they can leave the rest, in progress and just kind of closed off to people. Because, like, they're not going to get a lot of testing data from people, jumping around in, like, terrain that's not finished, or, basically a place where a city is supposed to be, running around there. There's not really reason for us to do that, right? Beyond, like, our own edification, because we totally love to do that. But, like, just having, okay, we teleport there, we test what's there, and then, maybe next month a new spot is open. We teleport there, and then we just get to slowly see it, like, kind of build out, and we get to go to those places that were blocked before. It's just so much more exciting than waiting years for a zone.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, and we still don't. Our brains, as we're doing it this way, can't, like, piece it all together until it is pieced all together. You know what I mean? Like, we can look at a map and say, oh, then I would normally go through here and here to get to this place that I'm testing, but we don't really know what that's like until we have to go through those areas, right?
Yeah.
So it leaves mystery in the world, and I hope I'm going to say this. I'm like one of only a few people who would ever say this, and I can only say it because it's over. I would never say this in these exact words if it wasn't over, but I'm sad that the extraction mode didn't work out for them. I do think that in their brains, in their minds, what they wanted to accomplish was good for the developers, right? Now, I can only say that because it's over.
Say that it did. I mean, they
And
basically
it did
said
help them. Yeah,
it was working. We just didn't have enough people, and so
and people didn't want to do it, which is fine, and I understand, and I've totally, I didn't play very much either, so, I'm not trying to act like I was out here, I was testing, like, no, I really wasn't either, but, I am sad that it didn't work for them, because I do think that, they weren't trying, like, it was almost as if people attacked them in a way like they did this to us on purpose, right? Like they're screwing us,
Yeah,
and I don't think that was ever the intention.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
either.
they legitimately had a good intention with it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
completely agree. All right. Any last thoughts? I think we're going to be getting our PVL friend in here next for sure.
All right. Last thoughts. Love you guys. Love you, Deseryn. Love you very much, ManOfRohan, and your beautiful voice. And ReadbeardFlynn, I love you. Whether you decide to continue using your ginger filter or not, I'll always be there.
I upgraded it.
It's even redder.
Just for you, Nathan.
It's even redder now. All right.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Nathan.
As Nathan leaves, can I use this opportunity to segue real quick into
away.
the voting?
The voting. Yeah. Shout out your thing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Seriously. It's awesome. It's awesome. Do it.
So Nathan, who was just in here, is a nominee for Creator of the Year in a stupid thing I did called Another Scuffed Game Awards, which you can vote for in that link that's there. Pantheon Plus is also in the nomination, as well as Pantheon itself for Most Anticipated MMO. Please go vote. Nominate your favorites. Nominate things so that you don't get upset at me, because in the end, voting is your fault. That's all.
Perfect. That was great, man. Yep. All right. And feel free to spam that a few more times throughout the stream. But all right, PVL dunk, yank, dunk. All right,
we'll find out.
Okay, here we go. Welcome.
I got changed.
Welcome in.
You got changed.
Yes. Yeah, change room. Hello.
Hello.
I'm still alive.
Nice to hear you.
Yes. What can I do for you guys? You
Well,
guys are streaming or something, and you just get me in the channel to get information out of me.
This is so funny. So I know you guys are.
I know what you guys are doing. You're not.
Yep. So call-in show. It's a call-in show. So you put yourself out there by jumping in the green room. So, but what it really is to get other people's thoughts. So in this case, we can't really drill you for questions. That's not really the way of things. So, what are your thoughts on the Q&A and this situation, I guess?
Well, I've been developing the audio for quite some time now, so there's not much I can say. But I've been playing on the actual development server, so I'm way ahead of what you guys can see.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't much.
We need to kick Ben out of the stream here real quick, just 1 second.
I mean, I can't really say much about the game because I've been developing the audio, but what I've seen since they kind of thrown the big bomb of going back to the MMO instead of the 24/7 has been really great for me as an MMO player. And we had a lot of weak changes and fixes and architecture to do in our system to make everything work for all the classes and have everything under control for when it's going to happen. So I haven't I mean I'm still working.
Are you still working right now?
Much.
Well, I will say that I've really appreciated you and the team's work, and it is one of during this whole situation. There's been a lot of turmoil, and I will say the audio is one of those things that even amongst people that weren't wanting to play the mode was one of the first things that I would tout because it makes such a huge difference, and every time we get something new, it is a pleasure, and I cannot wait for the community to hear that.
Okay, what I can say is that I've just reinstalled the game because I uninstalled it a while back because I was playing on the development server and the 24 development server. Mm-hmm. So and I saw you guys, the alpha pledgers and the people that are not developing the game are still on the 24/7, which is a long way back from where I am.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hey.
And
Is everyone
in terms
listening?
of audio, I mean, okay, it's not in terms of
that's
Pantheon as a game,
Mhm.
but the audio is way farther ahead of what you guys are hearing.
Well, I have to tell you that I was a little disengaged, over the last little while, not being a VIP and not being being involved as much. So certainly, but and obviously with this news, it got a little bit. I hadn't lost faith, but I was like, oh man, I'm just unsure.
Yeah.
But when you guys started coming in to the Pantheon Plus channel, suddenly, we're like, what is going on? And the injection of your energy and
coming in,
and hearing some, and I got to hear a little snippet. Man, was that just like a vitamin B shot in my arm on my excitement for what's going on in the game. So, yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that is not in the game yet. Okay.
Well, that's saying a lot.
We managed to put the most that we could with a little time, because I've been integrating and doing some architecture on the audio system for what, 50 days, not even. So it's just like pushing massive amount of stuff. I mean, Phil, which is the boss of the company, he's working sometime until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I have to clean up his stuff because he commits stuff so randomly sometimes because he's either he's either working from his basement off drunk and just committing stuff because it has to be done, but there's not enough time, so we just pushing so much stuff. I mean, yeah. And
love it.
One thing I can say as well is that our artist, the main artist that is doing the actual music, just did almost a 4 gig package of music in the game.
Oh my gosh.
And with all the cues and all the new music, I mean, even if you stand in one place for hours, you're not gonna hear all the music. There's still gonna be stuff that you're not gonna hear because it's on random cues and all that stuff, and segments from here and there, and it's just gonna pop up. So it's gonna be a discovery every time you play.
Yep, that's amazing to hear. That is absolutely amazing.
That's good, because that's exactly what Phil wanted, because he's,
Phil's old school
games
as
and
well.
He has about 30 years of experience with Call of Duty and all these big massive games, so he has a lot of experience and he knows how to listen to the game. And we've been playing on the development server, the 4 and 5 of us at the same time, just taking notes and fixing here, fixing this. So it's getting there, but there's a lot of stuff I can't say. I can't make you hear stuff, of course, but in a few days I guess I will be able to make you hear all the new stuff without showing the game.
I would love if it's just because how I understand it is basically there's still a visual NDA. So they and this
I
is
heard
where,
nothing about an audio NDA.
Exactly, and I think Nathan tapped into this.
I wanted to talk to Nathan about it, but he kind of just, I guess he dissed me because he didn't answer. I'm guessing he's too busy because I wanted to have a lot of chat with him.
Just so you know, a lot of time the green room is not often a big discussion room, just because it's folks waiting to get on the show. But I mean, Nathan hangs out, so feel free. I think he would love to hear anything.
He's going crazy right now in the chat. So
I'm going to be able to speak more freely in a few days, the start of December. But until then, of course, I can't reveal too much stuff.
Hey, that's fine. We know it's coming up.
One thing
that's enough.
I mean, there's probably a lot of people listening to that, what I'm saying right now, but to people that are old school EQ players, we're gonna try to integrate some, Easter eggs, old sounds from the EQ.
All right,
I've already heard at least
like
one.
A love letter.
A few of them.
I'll say that. I've already heard at least one. I could say that.
Oh, Oh, good.
All right.
There's, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we couldn't, there's a lot of, stuff.
You guys have been killing it,
He's
man.
poking me.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have been killing it. Knowing that you guys have only been running on this for like 50 days is just insane. And by the time this all gets out in public, with that information behind people, I think they're going to be floored. Just absolutely so excited for you guys' work. And I can't wait till it sees the light of day, man. So
yeah, well, me and his name is Jan. He's not very talkative. He's the main architect of the system of the audio. He's doing all the systems, and when I look at his work, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff going on in there.
Yeah,
and
why is this a little crazy?
It's gonna be a blast because you're gonna have so much difference and smaller details between all the classes and all the the grunts and the VOs and all the casting and everything's gonna be so much fun. So and it's still, of course, in a few days when you're gonna play, you're not gonna have the final audio, and I hope we're gonna be able to integrate more. But I mean, just today I've been doing non-stop stuff on the game. I'm still looking at my screen and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. But I hope I'm gonna be able to integrate more and just being as ready as we can in the audio team for you to enjoy as much as possible of the game.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
If it's along the lines of the snippet I heard, it just makes me super excited for the future. So,
dude, that's not even my favorite one. I'll say that right now. I was like, oh man, I wish they would have picked this one, but anyway, I'm gonna pull you.
If you want some stuff in the game, okay, you can of course message me or Phil, and if you have ideas of anything, I mean, just any random ideas that you have on old EQ sound that could be a new Easter egg, and we could place it somewhere. Just a little 10% chance of happening somewhere when you kill something special. And then, it's gonna happen. But
awesome, man.
In terms of infesting the audio with old sounds, no, of course we're not gonna do that because it's a new game. We're not remaking EQ. It's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But of course we can.
Awesome.
If you have ideas, just poke me on any Discord, and I'm gonna be.
Yep, just through the Discord up there, and it's been so fun having you guys on. The Pantheon Plus Discord, but also just having you here on the show, man. It's so fun that you dropped by. I am gonna kick you out though, just so we can get to our last folks. So
sure.
We can get the get this wrapped up before everybody's past midnight.
Thank you so much, though. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that with us. And sound design is incredible. Thank you.
and is it
if you make a YouTube video out of it, out of everything that we've been talking about, just send me the link so I can send it to my boss, and he's gonna be thrilled. He's gonna be very happy about it. So just make sure to send me the link so I can send him the information. Yeah.
Nathan's like he's DMing you like crazy apparently. but
I'm not hearing anything from it. Where is your DM? I don't even see them on Discord.
Oh,
he blocked me.
All right. Well, you guys can do that. I got to ask you before you go. Is it Gank or Gonk or something else?
No, it was originally Gank Bang, but it is kind of weird to say on any channel, so I shorten it to Gank.
Okay, Gank.
Yes.
All right.
Just Gank. Yeah,
that's a good choice.
Yeah, it's better than the alternative.
Oh, thank you for that little bit of PVL lore. All right,
thank you.
Have a great night, Gank. Thanks for coming on.
Hey,
have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's get too tired to care on here.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna pull a vid while I regather my thoughts here. Hey,
I'm too tired.
Too tired? Are you also half drunk? Like I'm not Gank, but the other person I was talking about.
I am not half drunk, but that was pretty funny.
That's excellent.
It's definitely great listening from Gang from PVL and his stuff that he's got going on.
Oh, no kidding.
Good.
No kidding, man.
So what'd you think?
So I know this is probably an unpopular opinion. I actually originally hated the idea of the 247.
I know.
Just as many people saw. Over time, though, it kind of grew on me. Mainly because there was some stuff that I would not have tried out in a normal MMO setting that kind of forced me to try out every time I lost my gear, or whether it was from a bug or through actual death of my own.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace that, but at least they laid out that they want to try. They want to try, but
for sure,
it's a good point. That's a good point, and I'll testify for you because I saw that transformation myself, and so but it's
obviously trying to not kind of skirt the line around the
right
NDA and try not to speak about some stuff, but looking at the development speed from pre-247 to post-247, it's huge. It went from months on end, you just don't see any changes, to weekly updates.
Yeah, and the core part of me, I'm really sorry, but the core part of me is I don't want to do a correlation and causation thing here. I'm sure there are some elements that are because of 247, but I personally believe, and maybe I'm off base here, but I think there is a culmination of technologies and tools and all sorts of stuff coming together that happen to coincide with 247 that give me confidence that even without it, we're still going to be blazing forward. Or I would like to
100%.
I would like to
100%. I would have suspected a lot of these changes would have came, but some of it was I feel came a little bit sooner because of the issues that happened with it. Paladin coming out. We realized we've been wanting this for a while, but some of it really just became more noticeable with this effect.
More painful even.
Yeah, more painful.
But pain makes people get very they'll talk about it. They'll talk about it if something's wrong.
For sure.
And
then there's some bugs too, I think, that were found that would have never been found without the tower involved too. There was some duping issues. I don't know how far we can go into this, but
I would back off of that one. But I mean, people could expect, right? People could expect that kind of stuff in PA.
For sure.
Obvious. I'm not trying to guys. I'm not trying to cover anything up here. Obviously, there's stuff like that.
It's just December 1st, right around the corner.
Yep. There's definitely been some pretty funny / wild scenarios that I can't wait to talk about. But yeah.
Next year, we're all going to be saying, "Man, wasn't 247 a blessing?" We're going to be.
Oh
saying
my gosh!
No, we're definitely not going to say that. As much as that, it's continued, and we did the test. I'm glad it's definitely over.
We did it.
There's some aspects of it I was just getting really annoyed with. I'm okay, I'm feeling burned out now. Done with this now.
I'm I put my time into it. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I at least put my time into it. But I am ecstatic to be moving on. That's for sure. But yeah, isn't that funny?
I would completely hate it as sorry. I would still completely hate it as a PvP mode. That would absolutely suck.
Oh my god, it's so funny to see the narrative. After this announcement, it's so soon after the announcement, even of just being flipped on its head. I've seen so much conversation about people that are kind of sad that it's going away now, or at least being well, at least it did a good job, doing X and etc. And hindsight's 20/20 kind of a thing. But yeah, next year maybe we will be looking back and be man, that was the turning point.
So before we get too far into the the backtracking on that, I think that this entire stream is so positive because of the change, because of going away from it. And yes, like it's easy to look back on things and think, oh well, there's some positives here, and there were always gonna be positives. That wasn't the problem. It was more people like the perception of shifting away in focus and the specter of monetization, and there were so many things with it, and it's like it's better. It's easier to look back now, even so close, because we're looking forward to something that feels more positive to more people, like getting to play the MMO.
Yeah.
He said Spectre.
I agree.
Writers, right? Am I right?
Did we miss anything, or any last words for? I think got one more person. I think I'll get Glorfin here as the caboose tonight. But yeah,
that's everything from me.
All right.
Thank you so much, Be Tired, for hanging out and waiting.
Yeah. It's fun to hear your voice outside of me lurking in a PA chat channel.
That PA and me like putting out my notes I've compiled.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if that will be outside of NDA. Oh man, there's some stuff.
So I talked to Sav. She said that I can put it out December 1st.
You could or couldn't?
Could.
Oh,
it's
all right.
It'll be allowed.
The wiki be populated with
essentially, right? Just no pictures and videos. Just.
Oh man.
But she said that like. She might not punish me if I release it before December 1st, but even then.
Whoa, yeah.
I'm not gonna take that chance until December 1st, though.
It's like we've come like 10 years. Like we can wait 2 weeks. All right.
It's right there.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch for hopping on. Too Tired. It was fun. It's been fun to see this whole journey, especially like just obviously you're very active on the Discord and everything. But yeah, thanks for hopping in, man, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me.
See ya.
Thank you so much. I was about to say that too, Nefel. I was about to say that sounds like a trap.
Don't fall for it.
That is true. Neff might be onto something there.
Those monk.
Do I look fat in this dress? That's another trap. Don't fall for that one.
All right. Are we ready for our last person? The one and only Glorf?
Yes.
All right. Let's go here.
Hello,
hey,
Glorf.
bud. Nice to hear you again.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good
evening.
I've been doing all right. Main reason I'm here was first of all, just had to keep Des around a little bit longer since he was talking about missing out on something already. I figured.
Well, I started this show because we thought sorry to interrupt. The context here is we were like, oh my gosh, like surely this Q&A is gonna get out of hand and it's gonna last like an hour and a half, 2 hours or something. And we're like, man, I don't want to keep everybody up so late. But then it was over in an hour, and it was a great hour. And we're like, oh, like. I was gonna still stick to an hour and a half, but we're running like so I'm down as long as these guys are awake.
I'm too tired.
Timing on the yawn.
Oh my gosh!
No, yeah, Glorf, tell us what you thought.
Yeah, man.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
So the biggest thing is they've definitely made the right move, I think, in going away from 247, because while their goal is admirable of bringing about funding, I think the people that they had for testing for it are not the people that are going to enjoy that mode. The people that are going to enjoy that mode need more there for them to use and consume for it to be worth them getting into it either way. So I think it had potential. I think it still might has potential. It needs more first. And then if they want to revisit maybe bringing it back online with a little bit more content, testing it out to the right crowd, somebody who's interested in that, they might get something out of it. But having us test it now, it's just the wrong thing at the wrong time, I think.
I think I generally agree. Good points. Yeah. That's I don't know what else to say.
No.
Yeah.
You nailed it, in my opinion. Yeah.
And for the general progress moving forward, what they need to focus on is content. Content. Now, specifically, of course, getting the classes, getting the abilities done, getting all of the masteries in for abilities, getting the races in, and foremost above everything else, expanding access to more and more zones, getting us to where we can do things. Until that's done, all you're going to see being put out is the same old stuff over and over. If you let people stream, it's the same zones doing the same content. If you're putting out new concept art, well, it's just concept art. It's not anything in game. If you're showing what's in game, you're still limiting it to 2-3 zones that no one else has actually seen yet. It's got to move that way.
Yeah,
definitely more content. Just demonstrate the more rapid pace we have based off of the art style. Like, because I know, like, in general, like, the art style wasn't that well received, but it's here to stay. And one of the trade-offs was speed. And we've already seen a class added since the art style, and just keep adding and showing the speed, and I think people will generally be happy.
Yeah. Honestly, even on that note, like, with the art style, I've just, like, noticed after, like, the initial shock, like, I see in other places, like, outside of the official Discord, like, a lot, like, I don't want to say a lot to, like, generalize too much, but I have seen occasions where pretty often people are like, no, I actually kind of like the new art style, or, no, at least it's cohesive, or at least it, is a style, or kind of being like, actually, we're good with that. But packing that together with the 247 mode with it's a bit much.
And continue to show more and more different varieties, showing different classes, races, everything, different zones in that art style, I think helps a lot too.
Yeah, I think Thrown Fast is very sunshine, bright, beautiful. I get a mental picture of Who Framed Roger Rabbit driving through the tunnel as the curtains come back and you enter Toontown, and it does this whole smile, darn ya, smile, and that might be okay for Thrown Fast. I do think they could tone the grass a shade or two darker, and it would help. Because it's just that really bright green.
But
we need to see more that's not in that style. We need to see where it's not just
if you
a
look
cartoon
in the stream,
world.
Like, you can see some of the different lighting used. As soon as I did that, it changed it.
Yeah.
But like, you can see, like, with the ones with the skeletons, the one with, like, some more atmosphere and stuff like that. It changes a lot, and I think the more that gets out like that, the better.
And it's worth noting that even some of these screenshots that are now on the official Discord, like the one that I'm seeing right now, which is probably a different one than everybody else is seeing, like, that is actually old. And big things have changed. There was one thing that I don't think has been released publicly yet, but that I thought made a pretty big difference in a specific part of the style. But I do agree that, like, we've seen so much Thrown Fast, and while I could argue that, it definitely looks better in certain lighting conditions, et cetera, like, the style change or the difference in tonality is really huge. And I know they keep saying, like, it's gonna be grittier. Like, don't worry, guys, it's gonna be grittier. And having Joppa talk about Mad Run, I think that's gonna be the big one. Like, if they can show Mad Run and be like, wow, this feels like a scary, dangerous place, I really hope that it'll go a long way.
Yeah, Mad Run, I can definitely see as you're coming up into it, at least from the Thrown Fast side, it's like a Mirkwood with spiders leading into Shelob's lair, of course, full of even more spiders than Shelop had. So it can definitely be a very dangerous, sinister area if they can do it right.
Yeah.
And I hope they can do it right.
Yeah, I'm going off of, the pre-art change, when they showed what I think a lot of people assumed was Mad Run with the kind of spooky trees and the, that kind of a thing. I don't know if that was Mad Run or not confirmed, but
I thought someone said it was.
I
at
thought
some
someone,
point,
I
but
just don't remember 100%. So
I didn't see any dripping egg sacks though, so I'm sure it
Yeah.
wasn't Mad Run.
Yeah, we'll miss the dripping egg sacks. But really though, like I think once they can show some real variety, it will do wonders for sure. And
Agreed.
it sounds like they're
Agreed.
going for it. Like, I mean, I can wait till early next year. Like
Well, I can wait until Saturday myself, but yeah.
Are you warrioring it up? I know you're usually tanking.
I'm gonna be Dire Lord Paladin or Warrior, depending on how the patch notes look. It's all gonna be based on what's available and what kind of shape it looks like it's in. I do think the Paladin needs some major touches. So if they don't get some major touches on that and the Warrior's not out yet, I'll go Dire Lord again. If the Warrior's not out yet and the Paladin does get touched, I'll do Paladin. And then if the Warrior's out and looks decent, I'll probably go ahead and try that.
Dude,
Awesome. So
can't
tank all the way.
Can't wait. And then in 2 weeks we get to talk about it.
Art's not out yet, so yeah, tank's the second option.
All right.
Yeah, and you guys definitely need a December 1st, muzzles is off stream. Let people come in and just vent. And you could do that for probably 3 weeks worth of content?
We could hang out for hours. We should do like campfire stories with the P Plus crew. We're just like me and Theric and Drac and whoever else that we've been like binding our mouths shut. We'll just like share stories.
We're not invited, ManOfRohan.
What now?
Well,
I said we're not invited.
It depends.
I heard that. That's why I invited myself with the harmonica.
Depends on when they do that test, right?
We need audience, so you guys can offer that.
Yeah. Well, anything else, Glorf?
The one comment about falling and entering near death, that I know that I was in a stream where people fell and it had already been changed then. I may or may not have been one of those people. You'll have to watch the stream to find out for sure. But you already had, or it's already been changed so that if you fall, you die. If you take enough damage to kill you.
That's good to know.
And I think you could interpret why that is because I think everyone was kind of using it as fast travel, right? Like,
it was definitely somebody, one of my party members is down there. I will leap and they will get me back up and we're gonna go.
Oh wow.
Easy peasy.
Okay. All right. It's like a Ranger Gate plus.
Yep.
Yeah, not anymore. They've changed that.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
yep.
I look forward
Thanks
to
for
seeing
having
you
me
in
on.
game, man.
You guys have a good night.
Glorf.
We'll chat in a couple weeks, maybe.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
All righty.
Appreciate you waiting.
Okay. Wow,
oh, man,
guys.
what a night.
What a stinking night. I think like
Yep.
It really feels like a freaking breath of fresh air and like whatever analogy you can think of, weight off our shoulders or I don't know. I'm really really feeling good.
It reset the mood, and I don't think it was just like a reset for the announcement of 247. I think it just reset in general over the last couple of months, which I think is a good thing.
Yep.
It was needed. Not just for us, for VR too.
I hope so. I really I'm sure it did not feel good with so much turmoil going on around, because I know I try to be very cognizant of like the developers, the humans that have jobs that are just making this stuff for us, but at the same time I can't just pretend I don't have opinions, right? But I'm really glad, at least to hear in the Q&A, it sounds healthy. It sounds good for them.
Yeah.
And I really hope it is.
I mean, like, I cry in the shower every time I get a mean comment on YouTube, and that's every video I post. So I can't even imagine what they were going through. You know, it's intense, and you're dealing with so many passionate people, so many very, very passionate people, and the team itself is full of passionate people. So it's you know, it's got to be difficult, and I'm glad. I was very glad to hear the change in tone. And the feeling like a weight off the shoulders.
Yeah,
and
could you imagine how that would have gone if you know it was kind of like it was so like downbeat, kind of like, yeah, well, I guess, you know, since you guys don't like it, you know, we'll go back. You know, like it could have come off so differently, I think. And
it gives a new version or new facet to Onward and Upward. You know, let's move forward and let's keep going. So yeah, I am just looking forward. The only thing I want to say really is I'm looking forward to this next month and what's next, and after that, and I am happy to be playing with y'all soon.
Be quite the Christmas present.
You don't even have to win this time. Win access.
I know. Yeah.
Well,
you can be a loser and play.
Well, on that note, you want to get
great one.
You want to thank you, chat, everybody that's hung out.
Yes,
I know it's
you.
been a considerable amount of people following obviously a big stream / Q&A.
You're welcome for the pre-plug.
Spear me this, spear me that.
Yeah.
Who is afraid of a spear?
Thanks, everybody. Thanks
Sorry,
for sticking around.
I didn't know it was actually going to play that, but thanks a bunch, Zerg Jerk. But yeah, you guys have been awesome. I love the conversation. Love that we had such a great green room. It feels good that people want to be involved, and it feels good just to have everybody.
By the way, Pantheon Plus, you're welcome for the pre-plug.
It feels good to just be hanging out with you guys again, kind of like we used to, you know. And the Band-Aid's been ripped off, and
by the way,
we're
Pantheon
healing.
Plus, you're welcome for the pre-plug.
Now that they know,
hopefully we're healing.
Now
Nature can heal.
Oh my!
They're trying to. Oh no, we got to end this. All right,
we got to end.
Let's do. I've gotten too tired.
I'm gonna give my last.
Thanks, everybody.
Onward and Upward. See you guys next time.